I can remember me and Jeff riding down 33 heading to West Virginia. We were actually going way down to the coal fields and talking about all the songs that we had, the songs the Lord had written, I had written, and ended up with the 15 that we've got now. So all of these songs speak of place, they speak of time, they speak of people who are in these defining moments in their life. When Jeff played The Great Divide for us, I hadn't heard it, even though it's fairly well known in the folk music community.
Brought it into the rehearsal one night, and I remember very well Craig and Laura listening to it, like, wow, that's a great song.
We got to listen to it and put our own little twist on it, and it just spoke to us. It meant something to every one of us about, you know, where we were in life, and kind of became emblematic of the theme of the whole project. Once we got settled in with Brandon, the engineer, we kind of found this fusion between banjo and keys that just became very interesting and very different than anything we had attempted before. We had been in West Virginia touring and playing, and we were staying right by the New River, thinking how great it was to be home, man. I mean, growing up in those mountains, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, sitting on an old picnic table, I pulled the guitar out of the case and remembered the day before. And the day before, Laura and myself and Jeff had gone right down to the New River, and I said, man, this feels like a spiritual experience. I'm going to think I might get baptized in here again. Stepped down into the water and thought, man, I just never feel as much myself as I do when I'm here at this place. Out on that picnic table, I said, well, I climbed the banks to a rock to see what I could see. And what I saw was a mighty river running away from me. And then the next line came just like that. It felt like justice, because there was another time when I ran away from it. There was a time when I tried to run away from my heritage and my roots and what I'm all about. And it felt so good to just jump right back into that place. And I think if there's a moment that really accelerated the process of writing these songs, it was right there in a cabin by the New River. To me, the biggest surprise of The Great Divide was a song we wrote accidentally called Coal Mining Town. We were sitting in the music room at my home, and Jeff's playing this little part high up on the neck of a guitar, and I walked down and said, what's that? And started playing with him, and we had this little song about the old little white churches. Every place has one of these, and I have these memories of these ladies with their hair up high on their head, and they pray fervently until their hair would fall down it'd go everywhere. And that became Coal Mine Town. What was amazing about it is once we got here to the studio and started work with Brandon on it, we introduced some fiddle and we introduced a little bit of this, and it just became this sort of ethereal picture, a piece of art almost. Laura wrote a song called The Pedestal that we've been trying to figure out a way to use for quite a long time, and finally this was the vehicle we thought that would be perfect for it, and it sure was. It fit right in.
It was written on December 14th, 2012. And I woke up that morning feeling a little bit blue and depressed, and my boyfriend and I had a little misunderstanding the day before, and I remember we talked about, you know, putting people on a pedestal and how we shouldn't do that because they can't live up to our expectations. And I got up and I got thinking about the pedestal. The words just started flowing. When I write music, a lot of times I'm oblivious of what's going on in the world. And that happened. And that was the day that it was Sandy Hook. And that song then took on a whole different meaning to me. But the song is just a very powerful song that I'm honored to have on this CD.
This project features Laura's, strength, which is the mountain dulcimer. For example, we do a version of John Stinson's Number 2, a very old instrumental tune that a lot of people will never have heard, but it's a very unique take on that song. I think people are going to love on this CD.
It has been fun incorporating some of that Celtic feeling with it. It draws people closer to the band too with a new instrument that I'm pleased to be introducing to folks.
Brandon actually played the banjo and steel on this. That was great. And then we had Andy Carlson out of Granville play some fiddle and mandolin.
Also, our great friend Bruce Dalzell from Athens, Ohio, came in and played some upright bass on a couple of tunes. So yeah, we've had some primo musicians.
I've really had to kind of step back and observe and just try to get the hang of it. And it's so many different styles, different genres put together.
There's bluegrass on my side, Craig's got the gospel, Laura has the folk side. And I hope it touches people in the way that a lot of the stuff did when we wrote it. You know, it's West Virginia, it's Kentucky, it's Meigs County, Ohio. It's a sweet music.
I agree with that. I think there's a sweetness to Square 13. And if our fans, people who have traditionally enjoyed Square 13, are going to love this. But I think it also brings enough of a sound to it this time that it's also going to kind of reach out and grab a new audience as well.
I believe the CD will put you at the New River, and I believe the CD will put you in Meigs County. And that's all we can hope for.